There's always some old white dude somewhere trying to tell the world what to do.
Prison, wait a second.
It's weird.
How you gonna start with an old white dude, man? Come on, man.
I'm just giving a.
We love everybody.
I love everybody, man. This has nothing to do with love or not, man. I understand that in these sensitive times we lived in, man, easy communication has been freaking manipulated to the point where nobody can even say any colors anymore. You know what I mean?
Black guy, white guy.
Dude, let me tell you, bro. I have seen white people freeze up right before they say the word black, and they're not even talking about people to begin with, bro. It's insanity. If I was white, I would feel uncomfortable living in that type of situation, and I don't want you to feel uncomfortable saying the word black just because you're white. This is insane, bro.
Just talk.
They just made everything seem so sensitive. Listen, and it's when I say an old white guy, it's crazy that the interpretation of that these days is just so much more sensitive.
How else would you describe him? Some old guy? I mean,
because I would say this: there's white people. You do know that there is a whole complication around referring to black people as, well, first of all, I understand that there's a discomfort in saying that, oh, that's a black guy over there, especially for white people.
oh, it's a black
But
guy.
but what else are you gonna say? Yes, it is a black guy over there. Duh. But there is all this political correctness, like it's people of color versus if you say colored person, which by the way, colored person does feel, I'm not gonna lie. Colored person.
But call him colored.
Right. But my point is, it is about boxing people and creating this division kind of thing, right? It's like saying, oh, this is the normal way to be, right? This is the, if like a specific race is normal, and then everything else is order, right? It's like
oh, that Arab guy, that Asian guy,
exactly.
But then that white guy is just,
and then it's like when it comes to like black people, it's like other, right?
Yeah.
Like people of color. No, it's just black. We're just black, man.
Actually, I'm not black. I'm brown.
Like it does not freaking matter. So I mean, I'm hoping for a day where we can just go back to normal.
Yeah, normal is what we're looking
And
for.
the reason why we pointed out is because until you exercise some awareness, you can get taken without knowing it.
Exactly what we're talking about in this video, folks.
Now, there's always some white old guy somewhere trying to tell people how to live their lives. Like Mr. Schwab of the World Economic Forum. And he has something to say. Let's listen in and we'll be right back.
I think the fourth revolution, industrial revolution, will be in our mind for quite some years to come. But what is very essential, my concern, my deep concern, is that those technologies, if we do not work together on a global scale, if we do not formulate, shape together the necessary policies, they will escape our power to master those technologies.
Yes, go ahead.
Can we turn the volume up a little bit too, please? I think it's a little low.
Well, no, we cannot. We should not do that because then once we go now to go listen to the recording, it might turn out that it's okay. Yeah, but yeah.
Golly, why is it always out? It's such a power hungry guy, folks.
Yeah.
I'm video after video. It says they want to put policy. He was not a elected official.
Yes.
Using
Once you put policy in place,
using the PPP, private-public partnership,
yeah,
to put policy, power, regulations,
yeah,
over the technologies out there.
Well, let me tell you how you put policies in place, Mr. Schwab. If you're going to put policies in place, you go speak to your local representative, okay? Whatever area you live in, I don't know where you live, okay? You go to your little council hall, speak to your local representatives, they take that situation and then maybe it rises up to somewhere like the Senate. And then they keep pushing it up until it gets to your commander-in-chief of your country, okay? You don't just pop out of nowhere and start dictating rules for the rest of the world. Sir, you are a terrorist. That is what terrorists do. They hijack and take over without the consensus of the people. That is what this is. I don't know any other way around it. No one around the world has sat around and said, it is a good idea. We should all come under one centralized government.
I think someone else did.
Who did?
Italy tried it, and it failed miserably.
How did that go?
World War II.
Okay. Listen. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that there are other people who have the same sentiment.
This is starting to make a lot of sense. Because if we're trying to do that, we already see what's going on in the EU zone with the oil fight with Russia and everything. If that is not going too well, how do you think it's going to go around the globe?
It's not going to go well. Which the EU, by the way, that's falling apart for sure. Because I don't think Germany. I don't think Germany is in a great place to really have any leverage against anyone globally, right? And if you look at it massively, it is due to this pipeline situation, which that's not what this video is about. We'll not go too much into that.
Germany needs energy.
Yeah.
They cannot produce the energy by themselves unless they burn all the trees down.
Right. So it's like they've been disabled. And the more you look at it, I don't see many reasons why they will not align themselves with the opposing side of this equation, being Russia. So, but that's just me. What do I know?
Oh, China.
Can we play on?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Technologies. Because artificial intelligence, it's relatively easy, let's say, to understand how a computer functions. Of course, if I go back.
He is totally on the fight against artificial
Yeah,
intelligence.
he is. But let's watch the rest of this. Let's just watch the rest of this because I don't want to keep pausing this guy. Because the rest of it is about technology, and I would like to definitely get into that artificial technology thing, because first of all, before we play this, okay, I'm not a body language expert, but I want to tell you guys this right now. I see fear in this guy's eyes. I see panic, and I see doubt. We'll dive into that after this.
Back to the first industrial revolution, how a steam engine functions. But how does really quantum computing function? How does artificial intelligence, particularly if it's self-replicating, functions?
You see why I say I see fear in this man's eyes?
Oh.
All right, let's play it.
So
I just want to get
one of my concerns is how to shape the necessary policies to make sure that.
Okay, I know you're dying to say something right now, Drew. Just go ahead. Go ahead.
Steam engine, the vehicle, the engine that you could control.
Yeah.
Oh snap! Artificial intelligence is self-replicating. Oh my God! It's about to tell the world the truth. Oh my God! I know what kind of policies around it.
Oh no! Hey, again, I see fear, man. I see uncertainty in this man's face. What about the regulations around it? What do you think? How do you think that's coming about? What are his fears there, do you think?
Well, if you think about it from someone like him, right?
Yeah.
You've been using human beings as cheaply as much as possible for so many years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you can go to war and just destroy things. But when artificial intelligence comes into play,
Right.
and you tell a robot to do something, okay, maybe you don't need human beings to do it any longer,
Yeah.
and the robot can do it on and on and on forever. The technology is so smart that it could say, okay, that's not right, I'm not going to do it. Or it could say, you know what, yes, we don't need human beings anymore, I can do it on and on. So what now happens to the free human beings that no longer have to do the work? People are going to have so much time in their hands to revolt.
Exactly.
Because like kind of like what happened during COVID.
Yeah.
A lot of people's eyes got open once they no longer have to be in traffic for 4 hours of the day to be at the office where your mind is just focused on that 9 to 5 job, and you could sit at home and think and read books.
Yeah.
That created a lot of free time for people to think, and that's what created a lot of revolutions.
Dude, I like where you're going with this.
So now with artificial intelligence, when the computer is doing everything for you,
Yeah.
now you have more time to start seeing what's going on around you.
Yeah.
They don't want that.
Yeah. I like where you're going with this because, generally, and especially when you look at the movies, right? And this is where media is very influential. When you look at movies and you see these dystopian futures where robots are doing everything, and then now the people are just all locked up in a small area, suffering, do not have any resources. How did that happen? Because they make it seem like without the government and these guys in suits, the rest of us are just idiots who cannot sustain ourselves. Have we ever considered the other side of this equation? Very much like you're saying there. During the lockdown, people realized, wait, I've been wasting 4 hours of my life every day sitting in traffic. This is why it's difficult for us to go back from this work from home thing.
They try to push it back so hard too, man.
So when you now have artificial intelligence and the smartest people on earth, which the smartest people in the world are definitely not working for these people. I'll tell you that right now. The smartest people in the world are just the average person on Reddit and Twitter. This is how Robin Hood happened, right? And not Robin Hood, but GameStop.
Wall Street Bets,
right?
yep.
It was just the average
The
people
apes.
reading and studying and doing their due diligence and then sharing with the rest of the community.
Retail investors
And
don't
you
know
saw-
nothing.
Exactly. We saw how that went down. Again, AI in the hands of the millennials.
Say that
It's
again.
a threat to these people, man.
AI in the hands
AI
of
in the hands of the
millennials.
millennials is a threat to
It's
these people.
trouble.
Any form of technology in the hands, open source technology in the hands of millennials is a threat to these people because
Bitcoin.
this guy does not understand quantum computing. He does not understand Bitcoin. He does not understand any form of technology, coding. Okay, even at a very basic level, if you want to, you know what I mean?
AI
These
will do that
guys
for you too now.
do not freaking understand it. They don't know how to use it. Their secretaries don't know how to use it. Their secretary doesn't know how to use it. They cannot hire people fast enough to replace the idiots who work with them right now that understand this technology, because anyone who understands Bitcoin will not work for this terrorist. So
Kind of idiots and terrorists.
I think we have to change our perspective on how we see these people, because I think we give them too much credibility when we sit here and make videos saying, oh, these guys are gonna do this and they're gonna. I get it, man. They probably did things like, slam us with diseases that should have not really been here, and so on and so forth. But again, these are the same people who are corporate, who lobby and take over, essentially corrupt governments to exploit their land. This is not very far-fetched from the stuff that we're seeing in Ohio right now, where a train derailed. But how did we get there? We have lobbyists, right, who push the local government, buy them out essentially, to remove regulation that puts all the safety mechanisms in place to avoid things like that. Then you have a bunch of those people, because back in the 1920s, this is what they did with banking, right? Fought against government to remove the regulations for the sake of profit. Then you end up in a situation where there's a massive housing crash. You end up in a situation where there's a train that is crashed with freaking chemicals right in it. At this point, it's a chemical weapon released in the middle of the country, right?
Right in the middle of the country.
And nobody is like, they act like it's not on the top news on the front page of CNN and so on and so forth.
They are not even talking about it.
Right? Yet this man is over here talking about some shit that is so far out in the future that, my guy, you were pushing carriages with Jesus. You're that old.
Pushing carriages with Jesus.
Let's carry on. It's freaking ridiculous, man.
Those technologies serve humankind.
Let's back it up a bit here.
But the second concern which I have, and world governments have an important role, the change goes so fast in our world, and will go even faster. How can we make sure that the individual, each citizen, doesn't feel overwhelmed by change, because he cannot understand really what's going on? And if we do not understand, we become fearful and we react negatively, and we see the first consequences already in many countries with polarization of the public opinion. It has to do with some feeling that we lose control over our own fate.
If we do not understand, we feel fear and we react violently. When you do not understand Bitcoin and you feel fear that your central banking system is going to get taken over, you what would you say? Violently, right?
Yeah,
Or
we see-
irrationally
We see it going on right now.
by trying to stop
Banners.
banks from letting people withdraw too much money from their account,
Ooh, Nigeria
right? You start reacting irrationally
implementing CBDCs.
by trying to implement CBDCs. You start to react irrationally by trying to literally conquer the whole world under one government so that you can apply blanket laws across the board, even though no one elected you. Still, again, we do not recognize you, sir. I get it, man.
So
I hope you guys don't drive a train by our neighborhood suddenly, because it seems to. Which is, are we gonna do a video on that?
maybe we should break
We
it
should
down.
talk about it, bro. Because the same reason that thing happened is the same reason why we had the 2008 housing market crash.
Yep.
And the fact that, again, bro, it is a nuclear. Dude, the wind can blow that thing eventually, and we're going to be affected too.
Hey, we are right in the line when you look at the ecological studies. The wind eventually blows this way, so it's only a matter of time.
Carry on.
Last year when we were screaming PPP, folks are like, "What the hell is PPP? I don't get it."
It was the
High
PPP
rates.
loans.
That's so well. That was 2020.
Yeah.
A lot of people broke that one. Private-public partnership. That is what this guy is. I think that's the fuel that is grinding this guy. And we've been telling you guys on this show that the unfortunate thing is that the public part, which is not you,
Yeah.
but your government, has been bought out by the other P, the private industries, folks like Klaus, right? And they have this thing called World Economic Forum and World Governments Forums where they are public partners. Your governments that you have elected sit in these forums with their private bodies and conjoin and come up with stuff and then implement it on you, even though you did not vote or elect or decide those decisions that were made by their private partners. This is exactly what's going on here. Is that when you watch the media, which is controlled by the privates, and your public leaders now support, and they say, "Oh, Bitcoin is bad for you." That's because that is their agenda. Like you're saying, is scared of the technology,
Yeah.
so it's going to use its public partners, which is your government, to implement that thing that they're fearful about, so they can create policies or regulations around it to ban it. This is what's going on, folks. Same thing that we're talking about the railway, we're talking about what just happened with COVID. All that was already planned by the private institutions. They just needed the public aspect to enforce the regulations. Stay at home, don't go anywhere, put on your mask, go ahead and get injected and get your vaccines. Whereas the private aspect of the equation makes billions of dollars. Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, so on and so forth. So now, why we do this show is to talk about Bitcoin, because this is all money. This is money moving back and forth. And on the private-public partnership, a partner gets to print money anyhow they want. All the public does is just blast you with the media and try to tell you that's the way it's being done. And COVID and COVID was a good example of that. So we're trying to tell you guys that Bitcoin wipes all of that out. You don't get to print money anyhow. And if you try to implement something, it basically tells you, no, you can't do that. You can fuck it somewhere else. Well, I said fuck.
Hey, man.
Well, it's called a fuck in the industry.
I mean, shit, man. Is there even a point at this time? You know what I mean? We say whatever we want, man. Freedom of speech. We can never get to a point where it's. Here's the thing. I wanna switch gears here a bit. Which, by the way, hit that one on the head. Here's the thing. He said that. I want you to first of all just recognize the audience in the building, right there, and take into consideration the history of the nations under that culture, and even to this day, the state of their society. There are things that do not align. He said that they want to see this artificial intelligence or this new technology be able to serve
The people.
the citizens? Because notice he's already calling everyone citizens of what? Of whose nation? Your nation. Anyway. But you're talking to a group of people that have been having difficulties with just giving women their right for years. A group of people who definitely live in a society where there is a massive, how would you say,
Disconnect,
imbalance,
yeah.
right? When it comes to equality. I have a friend who lives in Dubai. Actually, he's a childhood friend. We grew up together. And the interesting thing about it is his name is also Che. We grew up, man, from when we were kids in the same neighborhood. And he now lives in Dubai and he works there. And sometimes I talk to him. And being an African in Dubai, it's not what you see on social media, right? It's these people are, which they're just in an area of Dubai that you don't never get to see, and the way they are treated is not anything that is close to what this guy is talking about. So it would seem then that in this situation, Mr. Schwab is a person who is looking for that Western idea of equality, right, and liberation for everyone, right? While he is speaking to a bunch of people who have not even been able to resolve that issue. You look at the person sitting next to him right now.
To them, my head is crashing like crazy. I'm about to go into some historic information right now.
Take it away, Sam. I don't want you to forget it.
Golly, you just click like I have a big light bulb in my head right now.
Yeah, let's go for it, man.
So
That's
folks
why we
like,
do this.
oh, slavery, the European style slavery, slavery in America.
Yeah.
Did you know that before slavery started in America, it actually started in the Arabian world, right? Blacks, the lower side southern Africans, were being taken as slaves to northern Africa, to the Mediterranean, right?
Yep.
Those were the first big slave traders.
Big sisters, yeah.
And guess who were the slaves? Of course, black people.
Yeah.
The Portuguese and the white people got so greedy that these guys were able to just make big implementations, grow the economy on free labor, that they wanted to get into the business as well. So they got into it. Portuguese did their thing. The Dutch got into it. And of course, America got into it and, of course, took it to the extreme, to the max. That's how we do it in America, right?
Go big or go home, right?
The blacks didn't have anything to say in it. They just actually fought themselves and gave themselves out as slaves. Modern day, 2023. Guess what? It's happening right again in our
Running it
faces.
again. They're running the same playbook.
Mediterranean, of course, Asia, and the Europeans sitting down together. World Government Summit. Let's come together and come up with the strategy. Guess who's going to suffer at the end of the day? Africa. That's what's going on right now.
We don't see Africa at the table, man. What's going on?
Never on the table. They're about to
Equality, equality.
Yeah, right.
Look, I've said it and I'll say it again, man. This is terrorism. I don't care how you guys want to look at it. I think it's terrorism. Okay, that's it.
I don't see any person with an agbada or some
Dude,
African outfit in that group.
Thoughts. Let's wrap this one up before they send a little train around our building. You know what I mean?
Get some Bitcoin, folks. That's your only fighting weapon.
Hey, or you could fight it. You could fight it, man. You could wait. You could wait till after they have you, already wrecked and you're the most disadvantaged situation on CBDCs and you can buy the Bitcoins. Then you could hit me up at that point in time to buy Bitcoins, and then I'll just charge you a very, very, very high premium for it. It's game theory, sir. Don't worry about it. Ladies and gentlemen, please follow us, subscribe to our channel. It is STAKK on here. Google did this weird thing where they started putting the something at for the username. I've been trying to change it, but I cannot change it. I don't
Did
know
they
what's
put us
going
at STAKK Crypto or something?
Yes, they put us as STAKK Crypto, man.
Oh yes, man. That's not our name. What the
Yeah,
hell?
man. You're putting us in the path of the SEC, Google. What the hell is going on, bro? That's ridiculous. We don't associate with any crypto anything anymore, That was like during the days when we were still learning the space. But then once our eyes were open to the lights, man. Okay. Anyway, we are on Twitter, STAKKFin, hanging out on Facebook with the Lost community. I feel like I should stop messing with people.
No,
on Facebook,
actually, it's a
man.
good thing because actually, the our government called the big techs in saying, hey, wait a second, you guys have been working with the partnerships
Yeah.
to block information from people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it should. I mean, the government has been doing it too, man. They keep acting like they don't know what's going on, bro. It's whatever. Do not believe shit. Question everything, okay? Listen, but I will say that technology and the technology sector has put us in a place where we have a fighting tool. I don't think these people expected it to go this way.
Don't believe the further by AI, man.
Yes.
Bring it on.
Instagram, fuck Instagram. I know it's fun. I don't care. And then, of course, follow us on Spotify as well. STAKK. Okay. We're good?
Yes, sir.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Brazen out.